it didn't quite work. Some people would submit, but often when it came to the second draft, when they had to make revisions, people didn't want to make revisions, felt that it was okay, and just didn't follow through. So we relied more on content from Campus Progress. They have a weekly e-zine, which is really cool. You should look at that. But we got some of their stuff incorporated with a few of our stories to get out our one issue. But the absence of staff also has created the problem that it's hard to make sure, as me and Ethan are leaving, and Julian, who's a third-year law student who's leaving too, we have a new editorial staff that's ready to go. That's currently what we've been working on this semester, trying to locate some folks, because we didn't have staff to choose from this year. So there's been some changes made, we've learned some lessons. I wasn't part of the staff that made this decision, but at the same time, the one editor who's still active, he was kind of rough position because the other co-editor just kind of dropped Progressive. He had some personal issues, so he had to let it go. So I don't blame it on any particular person. I think it's clear that we shouldn't work like a literary magazine, because a lot of literary magazines don't come out either as a result.
Okay. Speaking of the current staff leaving and needing to hire a new staff, with the new staff, what elements of the Progressive do you believe must be preserved by the new people coming in?
Yeah, a few things. I think we've created some type of identity as a magazine, although we're only quarterly, so people only see us every so often, but I think they can come to expect that we will have solid opinion editorials. That's what we do. From time to time, we've done some investigative reports and some other variations, but opinion editorial tends to be good. They often can expect to find pretty reliable sources attached to our opinions. Unlike some opinion editorials, both in the mainstream news and not so mainstream news, the political news on this campus, it's just factless or without any type of and I'm not just talking like statistics, I'm talking about like any sources, any interviews, any attempt to try to validate what they say. So I think readers of Progressive trust us to know that even if you disagree with us, we've done some homework and some research. And two, it's really important, clarity is really important. We don't want for like the magazine just to be for like politicos, people who pay attention to the news all the time. I think it's pretty important that we always provide like backdrop for people who weren't so familiar with issues or particular issues. We don't try to use like acronyms or lingo without explaining what they are, what it means, and what the significance is. So it's, I think, for the new staff or whomever continues with the Progressive, we'll kind of keep those three things in mind. It's got to be opinion editorial. It's got to be good ones with at least some factual content. It's also got to be not some pretentious, lofty, essays from a bunch of people who are pretentious. I think they're important. It's got to be accessible.
Okay. Rochelle, thanks for your time.
It's
I get that hand in there? Okay.